A sad end for Neymar. Neymar Jr., a footballer who had the potential to become the best player in the world. The potential that the Brazilian showed was unprecedented. In Brazil, it was known that they were dealing with a talent that could surpass the legendary Pelé. The prince who never became king. That's what you can call Neymar now. He had everything it took to become the best. But today, we know that this dream of a young boy from Santos will never come true. His amazing dribbling, beautiful goals, and playing with the ball at the highest level. All this has become history. A history in which Neymar undoubtedly made his mark, but he only used 50% of his potential, and that will not change. He could have been a complete legend. On October 18, 2023, a match was played between Brazil and Uruguay. A match that was Neymar's last match. Neymar left the field in stoppage time of the first half, and subsequent tests confirmed the worst. There was damage to the cruciate ligament and meniscus in the left knee. This means that the player will have to undergo surgery and will be out of action for a period of 6 to 8 months, which is basically what the end of the season means for him. The Brazilian will be 32 years old when he returns from injury. There is also an option, which is of course not confirmed, that Neymar may not return to professional football and that this could be his last match. Who would have thought it would all end like this? I invite you to the material devoted to this brilliant player who could have occupied a place at the top next to Messi and Ronaldo and been remembered as one of the 3 best players in the history of football. Thank you very much in advance for every like and subscription, so without further ado, let's get started. At the age of 15, young Neymar was one step away from signing a contract with Real Madrid. However, the transfer ultimately did not take place, and the young player decided to take his first steps in Brazilian Santos. He made his debut in professional football in 2009, and just a year later he was called up to the Canarinhos team. He was already at the top of the transfer wish list of clubs such as Manchester United, Real Madrid, and FC Barcelona. In his first season at Santos, he was awarded the title of the most talented South American footballer. Nobody played like Neymar. The 17-year-old player even made his opponents laugh with his technical tricks and general disposition on the pitch. In addition to his incredible talent for dribbling and creating scoring opportunities, there were statistics. Less than 3 years after his debut, he already scored 100 goals in his senior career, which is a truly amazing and very unusual result. The whole world wrote about him, and all of Europe waited for Neymar to finally decide where he wanted to continue his career. Of course, it was already certain that the choice would fall on a top club, where Neymar would definitely have a guaranteed place in the starting 11. All these reports and rumors were also accompanied by comparisons to players such as Maradona, Pelé, Messi, and Ronaldo, and there is really nothing strange about it, because the winger had the potential to be even better than the mentioned players, because no one looked as good at such a young age. Finally, 2013 came. On May 26th of that year, Neymar officially announced that he would be a FC Barcelona player from the new season. Playing alongside Lionel Messi was a dream come true for the young player. He wanted to be like another legend of Brazilian football, Ronaldinho, who also represented Blaugrana and experienced his best period in his career there. Neymar signed a 5-year contract with Barcelona. During a press conference in January 2014, it was revealed that the total transfer amount for Neymar was 86 million euros, which was an incredibly high sum at that time, and placed the Brazilian in 3rd place in the ranking of the most expensive transfers in the history of football. It debuted on July 30th, 2013 in Poland. Exactly in Gdansk, in a friendly match against Lechia Gdansk, and from that moment, on that day, Neymar's beautiful history in the colors of Barcelona began. He scored his first goal in Barcelona on August 21st, 2013 against Atletico Madrid in a drawn match for the Spanish Super Cup. His entry into the Barcelona team was positive in terms of his performance on the pitch, but the player himself recalled this period as nervous and stressful. Neymar remembers this time as follows: "I can't say that the adaptation after arriving was very difficult, but the first month was complicated. The situation was great because when I trained I had Messi, Xavi, Iniesta, and Pique by my side. I felt like I was in a video game. Not long before, I had played with them on the console. and then I played with them on the pitch. At first, I was ashamed to talk to them. After all, they are my idols. I had just joined the band then, and I was very young. I was also afraid that I wouldn't be able to cope with the pressure that was on me at that time. Neymar's first season in Barcelona was an adaptation period, where the young Brazilian was just taking his first steps in football at the highest level. He played in a really great team, so it can be assumed that this task was a little easier for him. However, it must be remembered that he was under enormous pressure. He finished his first season with 15 goals and 15 assists. These are really very good statistics, and it was only his debut season. The best was yet to come. Neymar's career in FC Barcelona was full of successes, and his best years and the so-called prime time lasted from 2014 to 2017. During his 4-year adventure in the colors of Blaugrana, the player helped the team win as many as 9 trophies, including the most important one, the Champions League. In 186 matches, the Brazilian scored a total of 105 goals. The 2014-2015 season was definitely the most successful for Neymar in terms of goal scoring. The Brazilian scored 39 times in the opponent's net, which is a truly phenomenal result. It is worth remembering that he also played alongside Messi and Suarez, who also scored a lot of goals. Moreover, with Messi and Suarez, they created a deadly attack. Neymar's best match in Barcelona was definitely the match against Paris Saint-Germain, a match that will be remembered as the greatest comeback in history. A comeback that wouldn't have happened if it weren't for Neymar. The Brazilian scored 2 goals in this match and made a key assist in the last goal in the last seconds of the match. We all remember this meeting very well, and it must be admitted that he was the most important player at the time. Even after that match, the player still didn't feel as appreciated as he deserved. He felt that no matter what he did, he would always remain in the shadow of Leo Messi at Barcelona. This narrative was also strongly emphasized by Neymar's father. It cannot be denied that Neymar was constantly in Messi's shadow, so when he started to enter his prime, he knew that he needed to be a complete leader to have a chance to win the Ballon d'Or and be more appreciated by the football community. At least that's what he thought at the time. A great transfer saga began, and at the end of that season, there were more and more reports saying that this was the end of Neymar in Barcelona. The situation was very complicated and resembled what is happening now with Kylian Mbappe and Real Madrid. On August 3, 2017, everything was clear. Neymar signed a 5-year contract with the club that he had humiliated at Camp Nou 4 months earlier. The transfer amount to Paris Saint-Germain was 222 million euros and was the highest amount in the history of football. Neymar spoke about leaving Barcelona as follows: "A career at FC Barcelona was more than a challenge. It was my childhood dream. I played with players I admired as a child. At the age of 21, I came to Catalonia facing many challenges. I shared the locker room with idols such as Leo Messi, Victor Valdés, Xavi, Iniesta, Puyol, Pique, and Busquets. I played for a club that was more than just a club. FC Barcelona is the nation representing Catalonia. With Messi and Luis Suarez, we created an attack that went down in history. I experienced unforgettable moments. I lived in a city that was more than just a city. This is the homeland. I love Barcelona and Catalonia. The decision to leave Barcelona will haunt Neymar for many years. To this day, we don't know what would have happened if he had decided to stay at Camp Nou. However, the Parisians had very high hopes for him in terms of dominating European competitions. He was supposed to lead the Paris club to its first ever Champions League triumph. He was going to get what he wanted: the status of complete leader in the new French project, which aimed to win everything possible, season after season. In his first season, he won the French Championship, the French Cup, and the French League Cup. He appeared in 30 matches and scored 28 goals in all competitions. It was a good start, but as time passed, Neymar seemed to be losing motivation. He also felt the pressure of another player who began to play the role of leader and draw more and more attention to himself. It was Kylian Mbappe. Time passed, and it was safe to say that Neymar was in the shadow again. He left Barcelona to step out of Messi's shadow, only to be in Mbappe's shadow. Neymar also had a big problem with injuries, which also affected his performance. His adventure with PSG was definitely not the best. Even the arrival of his friend from the previous team, Leo Messi, did not help. The great project that was supposed to show the power of Paris and dominate everything collapsed. The Champions League still remains unattainable for Parisians. After some time, it can be said that Neymar's departure from Barcelona was a really bad decision. In the summer of 2023, when his friend Leo Messi left for Inter Miami, Neymar made one last attempt to return to the top and step into the leadership's shoes. In July, the Brazilian, the leader of FC Barcelona, was trying to return to Barcelona, and it was obvious that he cared about it very much. He wanted to give himself one last chance, but his bad relations with the Paris Saint-Germain authorities and the fact that Barcelona had financial problems meant that the Paris club had to sell him to an Arab club. Neymar joined Al-Hilal for 90 million euros. He signed a huge contract that gave him incredibly high earnings. After leaving Barcelona, Neymar's career was largely marred by injuries. According to data provided by Transfermarkt, the Brazilian has missed as many as 147 matches due to injuries since 2017. After the transfer to Saudi Arabia, it was obvious that the smile on Neymar's face disappeared, and the player himself seemed simply tired. There were speculations that Neymar would play for a while in Arabia and would want to try to return to FC Barcelona again. Neymar finally found the situation we discussed at the beginning of the episode. Such a serious injury is like a death sentence at this point. It is not known whether Neymar will be able to recover in time for the Copa America. His participation in the football tournament at the Olympic Games in Paris is also uncertain. The second biggest loser of this situation is the Al-Hilal club, which is certainly not happy that so much money will go to waste because the player cannot play for almost a year. It's a very sad time, the worst. I know I'm strong, but this time I'll need my family and friends even more. It's not easy to get through an injury and surgery. Imagine going through it all again after 4 months of recovery. This is what the player himself said about the whole situation. You can guess that this is really Neymar's worst time. A player who has been plagued by injuries for a very long time. He really lost a lot because of them, and it's just very sad. How will we remember this brilliant Neymar from the Santos times? His beautiful moves. The way he enjoyed the game when he was on top. At one point, while playing for Barcelona, he was among the top 3 best players in the world. He could compete with Messi and Ronaldo for the Ballon d'Or. If he had been healthy and made good decisions, I am sure he would be in a completely different place now. However, at this point we can assume that he will never achieve anything great in professional football. I'm incredibly sad to say this, but these are the facts. The footballer inspired many people. Many young players say they watched Neymar's training and games to learn from him. This is a very sad end for Neymar indeed. Of course, the player still has a chance to play after the injury. But will he have even some of the joy and motivation in Arabia that he had in his best days? I leave you with this question. Share your opinions in the comments and let us know if you think Neymar will still be able to play football at a good level and achieve something. This player could have achieved much, much more, and I think this is a perfect example of wasted talent. Neymar has achieved a lot in his career. He won many trophies, but his potential really allowed him to think about much bigger things. About the greatest things a footballer can achieve. That's it for this episode. Thank you very much for watching until the end. If you liked the video, leave a thumbs up. I encourage you to subscribe. Thanks for watching. We'll hear from you in the next episode.